This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptocurrencies to choose from on their spot exchange, dozens of USDT pairs for futures trading, perpetual coin futures, trade commodities like gold, silver and oil, Forex, and major indices like Nasdaq. You can buy crypto from Bityard with over 50 different fiat currencies using Visa, MasterCard, Google or Apple Pay. If you like, you can use their copy trade facility, follow other traders who will execute trades on your behalf, or become a copy trader yourself. So if you want a bit of that, click the link in the description. Hello everybody, welcome back. So I'm back from my little holiday with the kids, which is nice. You know, they're downstairs now, sort of monged out watching telly, which is fine because we've been pretty much out and about every single day for the last few days now, and it's been good. And I've not had any chance to make any videos throughout that time. And sometimes it's good to have, especially in times when Bitcoin's effectively extremely boring, the market's effectively boring, and there's not a great deal going on. Without sounding like a broken record, I thought I might as well just enjoy my little holiday with the kids, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're back now. So I turned on the computer to have a little look, and it's more or less exactly the same as it was before I left, which is boring. But there is what appears to be a subtle difference as of today. Now this candle body has not closed, it's only just started, and we were talking about this ascending channel. Ascending channels do have a very strong possibility of breaking down, whether they do it this time, or this time, before going up again to revisit the top of the channel. And again, just because it's more likely doesn't mean it has to happen. This is something that a lot of people don't understand about trading, especially when it comes to formations, indicators, all this, that and the other. It doesn't mean that something has to happen. It's all about likelihood, and it is more likely that it were to break down outside of this than break out. So yeah, it looks like we're going to get a breakdown from here. And when I say breakdown, I'm not talking 15,000, 10,000, 50 pence for a Bitcoin. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, as far as the formation is concerned, we're getting our breakdown. That's good in a way, because it means wherever we go down to, we'll start a new formation. We'll start a new bunch of assessments on how it's going to resolve from there, whether it's going to go down further or lower, or even bounce and go higher. But for the moment, this is what's happening. So the obvious place would be, and again, we're a bank holiday, I imagine probably across the world, but it's not a particular. It's an extended weekend. It's Easter for those who do that sort of thing. It's all about the Easter Bunny for me, rather than any kind of pagan or religious festival. But what it generally is an extended weekend, and that's for the most part that's all it is really, which basically means it's not really much of a trading day. So we do look like we're going to melt down to this level here, around about the $37,000 zone is where I'd be looking for this. So that would be the daily Bollinger Band bottom, more or less, and this horizontal that goes back to this horizontal support around here. So that looks like the most obvious place for it to revisit first of all. Whether we get a decent reaction from there remains to be seen. And if you think about how we've reacted there in the past, it has actually been okay, but personally, I kind of probably would be expecting a little lower than that. Okay, maybe a little lower. Now, when it comes to the Idgy cloud, we're still in the process of forming a short signal. So we've got a red portion of the cloud there closing, or toying with the idea of closing below the cloud. The Chiku span being here, which means a closure below 38,000. Today would initiate a short signal on this one actually. So thinking about what that means would be, well, yeah, a short a short signal take place. Obviously a short signal for Bitcoin is going to be a short signal across the board for the entire market. So altcoins, for the most part, there's always going to be little outliers that move for whatever silly reason, whether it's a tweet or a mainnet or a burn or whatever, a partnership. There's always going to be little things move here and there, but generally speaking, if Bitcoin gets a short signal and we're looking for it to play out, then the market's going to get a short signal. Effectively, you're looking for it to play out. You use Bitcoin as your major indicator to trade any kind of altcoin, unless you know something that we don't, which is obviously valuable information, obviously. So yeah, 37,000 would be the first area, and then to be honest with you, I would actually expect a little lower at this point if we do get that short signal. Now, obviously, we're waiting for this daily candle to close, and again, a closure below 38,000 would initiate a short signal. Now, that doesn't mean you should enter a short immediately. We're looking at this on a daily time frame, right? And these signals, they can, even though they are relevant, it suggest lower. Doesn't mean that it's going to go down instantly, that the daily candle closes and a new daily candle opens to generate that signal on the daily. That's not what it means. So just think about what you're doing. If you do intend on trying to short Bitcoin based on a short signal that's generated on a daily, just think about that for a moment, okay? You're going to have to think about where your entry points are going to be and be prepared to play it carefully. So if we go down to a shorter term time frame, obviously we've got a death cross here on the 4 hourly, and it seems a little more clear here. You can see the retest of this support 1, 2, 3, and breakdown from this only just recently, really, because we've had 2 supports in the last 4 hourly candles here. So this is quite a recent thing. In just over the last 4 hours, we've started to break down from here. So arguably, I would be looking for a potential bounce around 37, but probably continuation down to the 35, maybe even back down to the 32 above, beyond there. But traditional markets will need to open. Traditional markets do play a major role, and they aren't really feeling very particularly happy themselves at the moment either. And all of that does filter through into how the Bitcoin's behaving. So overall, on the 4 hourly, doesn't look good. On the daily, potentially generating a short signal that could drive us down quite a bit lower, back down to the lower 30s, and we'll see what kind of reaction we have around there. Regardless of all of this, I'm still not one of those massive perma bears. I still think this is just a little drop in the ocean when it comes to price action. And obviously I've bought all this area out, but I would welcome further drops down towards the breaking down below, well, 230. I've got a buy order in at 31,000, give or take, around that level. And I would be definitely interested in picking it up around 25 if we were lucky enough to get it down to those levels. Again, for those who haven't been in Bitcoin very long, or significantly underwater, I mean, Bitcoin, when it wants to, it can turn around quite quickly. It just doesn't want to do that right now. So let's face it just does not want to turn around very quickly. It's the risky of risky assets, isn't it? Obviously we know about altcoins and how risky those those things can be, but Bitcoin, for many out there, is still pretty risky. And so they don't want to, it's not looking ripe for a large move up at the moment. But incremental steps down, I would welcome that. I still think there's a very good chance of a decent reaction around between the 34 to 32 area, the area that we had a decent reaction from in the past. So we'll just extend that, because I would imagine that this area is still going to get fleshed out a bit, and the larger version of the accumulation zone would be, well, I suppose arguably, I am looking for it to hopefully come back down to those levels, but generally this is the accumulation zone around here, and I think this is the area that we're going to play for the best part of the year, to be honest with you. And that's fine, because that would lead into and onto much larger prices in the future. To accumulate at such a high level, it's pretty decent stuff. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. I am looking for further downside, probably over the next week or so, probably more than that, to be honest. But I'm not looking for these perma bear ridiculously low price targets. And if they were to do that, they'll be snapped up pretty quickly. I really don't see this breaking down to a much larger extent. I just think it's just going to flesh out this range. And like one of the videos I made prior to my little holiday, don't get lost in the chop. Don't get too afraid of the chop. The chop is it's almost the hallmark of an accumulation period. Oh, we're going up. Oh, we're going down. Oh, we're going up. Oh, we're going down. Short-term time frames suggest bullishness one day. A week later they're extremely bearish. It's all over. It's choppy. That is indicative to an accumulation period. So the best thing to do within that period is to accumulate, preferably towards the lower area of the range. So that's why I've accumulated in the lower areas, the 40,000 to 35,000, and I'd be really interested in accumulating at the bottom level of these areas too. Accumulate at the bottom areas of what I believe to be the accumulation zone, and if it doesn't work out and it breaks down, I'm sure you'll be forgiven in the end. But it does feel like and look like an accumulation area that could be going on, maybe into the summer, to be honest with you. And that's fine. Just like Jesus resurrected on the third day, Bitcoin will resurrect probably in the third quarter. So we'll see what's going on. That might sound quite offensive to some people, especially on, what is it, Easter Monday or whatever we call it. But you see where I'm coming from. Right, I'm going to leave with you there, guys. I hope you have a nice day. Anyway, enjoy your little bank holiday or your Easter or whatever it is. And yeah, take it easy.
Pas en pite.